Hi, this is Michael Everett Reef. I'm in Seattle, Washington, at the bus stop. And I've been thinking about my life, right? I was born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I think I was orphaned to New York. I worked for the Denver Sheriff for a while, and this entire Washington state government for a real long time. Anyway, it's like this. I've been walking around my old haunts. I swung a deal over there in Belltown as sheriff. That was my training day. That's when I graduated sheriff school as an adult. Adult, baby. I had to take on, well, everybody didn't want to leave this election. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't for sheriff neither. Sheriff is election for the mayor. But I guess that had something to do with the sheriff, though, right? I was the new sheriff on the team. They declared me to be the King County Public Law Librarian. I was only 18 years old. Or 17, he's only 17, 17. It was a long time ago, though. I made a lot of good friends and stuff. I served in the Navy and the Coast Guard, too. Go on, ask them now. You remember who I'm talking to, right? Hey, I feel a certain sort of way right now, as you can see. Y'all got some good blood up here. Guatemala. Anyway, at the U.S. Court of Appeals, I was a judge. I was formerly in magistrate robes holding my Juris Doctorate, and it was in the atrium, the foyer. You know what I'm saying? The atrium, the foyer, the atrium. Now that goes, right? Anyway, I've been here since May last year, and I walked in the hospital in Virginia, right? Some of y'all probably think that's the craziest, stupidest thing man has ever done, as sheriff has ever done. Who let this man in here? you know? And I told them that I got hit over the head and I got amnesia and I can't remember important facts about my life. But I think it has something to do with my dad as a federal policeman, my mom's clerk of court. And here I'm a U.S. Marshal, couldn't remember it. And they take this pill. And then they looked at me and said, "You got schizophrenia." I said, "Huh?" And there was a 9-year journey with them through warden school. They helped me remember who I was. And then the state attorney, they wouldn't have got brave enough, sitting in the office at probation, District 9 probation parole, going, I says to him, "Excuse me, Mr. Feldman, I'm a United States Marshal, and I do believe the circuit court does not have the power to try and convict me for a district court violation." And he said, "You know what, Mike? Okay, you're still not getting paid." And I went, "Huh?" "That's how your official position." And he said, "Yeah." And his boyfriend walked in, this one of the state attorneys, like he's in the Navy, maybe from right here, but I'm not sure. He said, "Everything all right, Mr. Feldman?" And he looks at me and goes, "Yeah." I go, "We all done here, right?" He said, "Yeah." And I think about it, I think, well, that is payment. That's a big payment, because if I mind my P's and Q's right, that's 9 years of warden school. That's a big soda Christmas gift, ain't it? But it wasn't without any trials and tribulations, you know what I'm saying? They was all just fucked up. National Guard found me dead on the floor for real after they gave me too much psychotrops and they actually picked me up and took me to the hospital. Forward on it was in two sets. Look, they was praying over me in that one up and one down position, you know what I'm saying? And I started moving and they decided to pick me up and take me to the hospital. Kind of funny, because the state thinks I'm a ruthless killer or something. Because I've been on the big ship and I walked the land like, ah! No, I don't walk like that all the time. Just sometimes. Anyway, you know how it all started? See, I made ship's doctor right out of med school on the Navy. And some guy up there, before we set sail, he reached over and grabbed a handful of my ass cheek. And I threw him across the room into the corner. He crawled into a closet where half his body was in the shadows. And he said, "Please, please don't hit me no more." And I said, "You little son of a bitch, you shouldn't have did that." And they banned me for the ship. And then they sent in doctors, said they had to sedate me after that. And then 2-3 years later, they declared me fit. They came all the way to Philadelphia and said, "Hey, Mike, guess what, man? You've been exonerated of all charges in Seattle." I was like, "Really? That's cool." They had me so fucking high, man, I could barely fucking move. Had so much drugs running through me. And I was like, oh, that's great, man. I was like, we gonna go out there and celebrate? And he's like, yeah. And they were really sorry because they was all down the pier, and they said they had to carry aboard ship because I was still on the sedatives. And then I woke up like several hours, days later, and I was at the helm of a USS aircraft carrier in an admiral's uniform. But they had to leave a couple of the decorations off because people on board wasn't allowed to know for sure what those decorations is. And anyway, that's the story of my life in Seattle, practically. And well, you know how amnesia is if you ever had it or ever seen anybody with it. Because I ain't fucking with you, okay? When I get all shook up and kind of buzzing when I'm trying to chill, I'm trying to relax. Anyway, I've been thinking about Beyonce and TLC down on the road down there by the port. Oh, roadway. Man, she looked so good back before she got famous. And them spandex and everything. Them black girls talking about looking tight. Anyway, that was back in the day. They used to have long hair as a punk rock. They bleed out. That was one of my songs. I started doing the Beyonce thing up the stage, started barking like a dog. Ruff, ruff, ruff! Like that, she started looking at me like, tell them started getting bitchy. And then I kept walking. They said, hey, sure, why don't you come over and show us? He said, no, I ain't too old for that. They said, yeah, you get up there. I said, too old. I go up there and start dancing like I used to, getting down way low, moving my hips and my body. Took my shirt off and I said, come on, sir. Come on, we got to get out before these boys are getting real rowdy. So it's like, they didn't like it. I said, what's the matter? Is I fat or something? Like, yeah, right. I was all muscle bound back then. Now I started barking like a dog while bouncing a girl up on stage. Walking down the road on my old home. I'd already been in the sheriff's department and the city police department for 20 years when that happened. Almost 20 years. No, yeah, about 20 years. Coming in and out of Seattle on production crews and stuff. It was fun, a lot of fun. Anyway, they used to do the same thing in Philadelphia for the circus and for the Muppets. Jim Henson's Muppets. Guess what I was? A Muppet, baby. For real. And I was also on Sesame Street in one of them costumes from time to time. Nobody ever believes me when I tell them that story. Except, well, the managing editor. You get a good look now, huh? Daddy loves you. How much Sports Arena's doing? You know, I'm salary inhibited to $12,000 a year by order of the United States Congress. What you think of that? And I only had to do 3 years, 7 months in the state pen of Virginia. You know what the state pen of Virginia is? That's the original Sheriff's Association. Powhatan. It's the U.S. Army headquarters for the South during the Revolutionary War and the Civil War. And it's still standing because, well, they wasn't exactly complicit in the war. And that's where the sheriffs was manufactured back in the days. For a long time, they moved the operation a little bit, but you basically can't be a sheriff unless in the state of Virginia unless you serve time there, or unless you serve time there, unless you're incarcerated there, unless you're in military school there, reform school. Especially I'm from the city, so city police, yeah, we have to talk with this one. King County Sheriff, they're gonna put me in the state pen of Virginia. I'm like, what the fuck is up with that? And then the Virginia said, that's what the fuck is up with that. What the hell did he come in here looking for handouts for? Handout? He's a city. He's worth billions of dollars. Like literally, just walking around every day. As soon as you start going on the internet, billions of dollars in transactions start taking place. Like, whoa. Turn on pay the electric bill for the entire city of Seattle, they say. In Philadelphia. Just by going on the internet and telling the story. Pay their electric bill. Imagine that. That's what they say about me anyway. It does have to be a service. Remember I was on the news? Michael L. Reeve here, live at 5. Who's the King of Kings and the Lord of the Lords? I'm Mike Larry signing off. See you later.